Most people think they know the basics about money: saving, borrowing, inflation, interest. But when FINRA, the organization that regulates the financial industry and promotes investor education, gave a short 7-question quiz to over 25,000 Americans, only 4% of those got all the questions right. What do you think the average score was? That's right, the average score was failing at 44%. I think what's really surprising is many people didn't even try to answer. A big chunk just picked, don't know. Hey guys, welcome back to Old Guy Talks Money. Today, you'll get a chance to see how you compare and maybe challenge your own confidence and knowledge about money. But before we do, if you're enjoying the content, please hit that like and subscribe. It will help me grow the channel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the question up on the screen. I'll read it to you, give you some time to think about it. Then I'm going to give you the answer, and I'll also share how the participants in the FINRA study fared. Let's get started. Okay, question 1. Suppose you have $100 in a savings account earning 2% interest a year. After 5 years, how much would you have? A, more than $102. B, exactly $102. C, less than $102. Or D, don't know. Here is A, more than 102. This one about compound interest seems straightforward, but 41% of people missed it, and plenty just didn't answer. But still, it was the highest scoring question, with 59% getting it right. And if you're like me, and you want to know what that would equal, $100 at 2% for 5 years, that would be $110.41. Okay, let's go to question number 2. Okay, imagine that the interest rate on your savings account is 1% per year, and the inflation rate is 2% per year. After 1 year, would the money in your account be able to buy A, more than today, B, exactly the same as today, C, less than today, or again D, don't know? So the answer here is C, less than today. And if you think about it, if you're earning 1% per year on your savings account, so $100 would equal $101, but if a good today that you could buy for $100 now costs $102, obviously you have less purchasing power because of inflation. You know, inflation is a big topic right now. But even with that, half the people still miss this question. Don't know was a popular pick here also, showing how unsure people are when inflation and interest collide. Okay, question 3. If interest rates rise, what will typically happen to bond prices? A, they will rise. B, they will fall. C, they will stay the same. D, there is no relationship between bond prices and interest rates, or E, don't know. The answer B, they will fall. But why is that? Well, think about it. If I own a bond today, and that bond is paying me a coupon of 4%, but bonds in the market are selling at 6%. No one is going to pay me the same amount of money for my bond when they can put new money into the market and get 6% instead of 4%. To adjust for that, they would actually pay me less to adjust my coupon rate more to a market rate. Only 32% of people knew that rising interest rates has this impact on bond prices. And this had one of the highest don't know responses. Nearly 1 in 3 didn't even guess. Question 4. True or false? A 15-year mortgage typically requires higher monthly payments than a 30-year mortgage, but the total interest over the life of the loan will be less. A, true. B, false. Or C, don't know. The answer here is A, true. Even though they would have a higher total payment, the interest over the life of the loan will be less. As an example, a $150,000 mortgage at 6% over 30 years would have a payment of $899. That same loan over a 15-year period would have a monthly payment of $1,266. The difference, though, is the 15-year loan would save you over $100,000 in interest expense over the life of the loan. Mortgages confuse people more than you'd expect. Less than half, 42%, got this one right. Even though it's a true false, many still pick don't know instead of taking a 50-50 shot. Question 5. True or false? Buying a single company stock usually provides a safer return than a stock mutual fund. A, true, B, false, or C, don't know. The answer here is B, false. So think about it this way. What a mutual fund does is give you diversification. Single stock, all your eggs are in one basket. And if that stock goes down, you potentially have lost that money if you had to sell that stock. If it is part of a bigger basket of stocks, the movement of that one individual stock doesn't have as big of impact to your investments. This one's critical, the safety of investing in a single stock versus a mutual fund. Only 39% got it right. And again, a big chunk opted for, I don't know. Shows a real lack of confidence when it comes to risk and investing. All right, number 6. Suppose you owe $1,000 on a loan and the interest rate you are charged is 20% per year compounded annually. If you don't pay anything off at this interest rate, how many years would it take for the amount you owe to double? A, less than 2 years. B, 2 to 4 years. C, 5 to 9 years. D, 10 or more years. Or E, don't know. The answer here is B, 2 to 4 years. And it really illustrates the impact of compounding interest. And another thing that it illustrates is that concept of the rule of 72. The rule of 72 says if you take 72 and divide it by the interest rate you're either earning or paying, it will tell you how long it will take that amount to double. So 72 divided by 20 is 3.6. Again, B, 2 to 4 years. Now, this idea of compounding math threw a lot of people off, and just 26% answered correctly. But more than a third didn't even try. Don't know was the most selected answer here. Question 7. Which of the following indicates the highest probability of getting a particular disease? A, there's a 1 in 20 chance of getting the disease. B, 2% of the population will get the disease. C, 25 out of every 1,000 people will get the disease. Or D, don't know. The answer here is A. There's a 1 in 20 chance of getting the disease is the one that has the higher probability. I think this threw a lot of people because it's really all dealing with probabilities, but they answered it in 3 different ways. So the way to look at this is converting it all to the same number or percent. So a 1 in 20 chance is 5%. B, they already had it at 2%. And then 25 out of 1,000 people is a 2.5%. Therefore, the biggest chance of getting that disease is the one that had the 5% chance, or A. You would think probability would be straightforward, but only 35% got that's right. And just like the earlier questions, many skipped it, showing how framing statistics still trip us up, just like me trying to say statistics. So guys, how did you do? If you got all 7, you're in the top 4% of the country. If you got 5 or more, you're ahead of 73% of Americans, and only 27% managed that. If you got 3 or fewer, you're right in line with the national average score of 3.1 out of 7. One thing that really stood out to me is people didn't just get answers wrong, they didn't answer at all. Across all questions, don't know was chosen more than 1 in 5 times. Surprising to me, women picked don't know nearly twice as often as men, suggesting a confidence gap, not necessarily a knowledge gap. So guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the quiz. And if you did, hit that like and subscribe. Let me leave you with this thought. We're not just struggling with financial facts. We're struggling with financial confidence, and the study showed that. So whether you got 2 right or 7 right, the fact that you're watching this means you're already ahead of the curve. Now let me know how many you got right in the comments and if you learned something today. Tap that like so others can learn too. Thanks again, and I will see you in the future.